Hello. In this video, we're going to be talking about how we will be doing a data-driven test using a SoapUI. Well, for that, we got to have an API, a web service. So let's first of all go and look for a web service which is out there, which we could be using. All right. So I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna bring up my Internet Explorer, go and start looking for that web service. And for that, there are a bunch of things we could be doing. Either we could Google a free web service which is out there, and then use that web service. Or if you have access to our website, we have tons of web services which we could be using from our website called trainingrite.net. So if I go to trainingrite.net, basically what we have here is we have a site for our students. Once you are registered, then you would be given a username and password. The username is your home phone number or cell phone number, and password is the password which will assign you. So if you had access to our site, you would go in there and then um, click on the submit button after entering the phone number and password. And then once you hit the submit button, you'd be getting in there, and then basically this is confirming who you are, and we will be going in there and then clicking on that. So over here we got a bunch of web services. So I'm going to go and then take a look into this NASDAQ web service, and this is the operations we have for the NASDAQ web service. Um, now, again, depending on if you have access to our website, you could be using all of these web services. A2Desk is a web service, another web service, commercial web services, which we give you access to tons of these operations which you could be testing. All right. Okay, so let's get out and then search for a free web service. In order to search for a free web service, you could either go to Google and then say, show me some of the free web services, or I have the URL of one of the web services which we could be using out there, which is a web service, webservicex.net. This site basically hosts a couple of web services. So again, we could be taking one of the web services from here, and then we could be using that web service for whatever we intend to do with it. Well, there's a stock code web service, right? And as you can see, we have the schema for this web service. Basically, what it is going to do is get stock code for a company symbol. So when I click on that, I could just go in there and then enter MSFT, invoke, and basically it is going to give me some information about it, like okay, it's Microsoft, and the last trading value of that is 29.23, and we have what was the date and time, and what was the previous close, what is the market volume for this particular stock, and stuff like that. So it is returning a lot of stuff. So going back in here, I could go and look into the schema of that by clicking over here. So if I click I could be in the WSDL file. Basically the WSDL is where is it? Okay, it's right here, um, right here. So I could be taking this WSDL and looking into what it needs to expose. So here it is, all the information. So if you are in our course, we discuss all of these things, right? What this soap is basically doing, what kind of response we are getting, depending on what kind of request we send to the web service. All right. So coming back in here, as a part of our data-driven test, we will be going and we'll be looking into this currency converter. So I'm going to be taking the currency converter and trying to do something with it. So here I go. I'm going to take that, go into and open my SoapUI. Once I open my SoapUI, I could go ahead and then create a project based on this currency converter API. Now this currency converter is basically is being hosted. It's a .NET web service being hosted from this website. Like I've been telling you, these are some of the other web services or the APIs that you have been working on as a part of our course. All right, let's go create a project, and this is going to be a data driven test for our currency converter converter web service. Okay. All right. So my WSDL is going to be whatever WSDL we're gonna get from there. So I'm gonna get started, and it is going to go and then get connected to that. Once it gets connected, by default, as you can see, I have these two APIs. I don't need the SOAP 1.2. We talked about that. What is the purpose of that? So I don't need it. So I could just go ahead and then remove it. So that's going to be out of here. So right now we have one operation in here. The operation is conversion rate. So let's take a look into the request of that operation. Once I go and then double click on that, so I see that I have the request, and let's go and put a value in there and then expect some sort of response. Okay. If you look into it, basically this web service, after looking into the WSDL, you would already know what kind of expectations would be here. The expectations here is you would be the data which you are passing here is from what currency to what currency. Let's say if I want to go from US dollars, right, to Great Britain pound, right, and then I go and then I do that. Basically, it is, as you can see, it is 0.6364. Now, if I do the reverse, meaning I want to find out if I, GBP, if I give you, if we convert from one Great Britain pound to US dollars, I'm going to get for one British pound, I'm going to get $1.57. So that's basically what it is. So if I say that for one US dollar, how many US dollars I'm going to get? I mean, of course, it's going to be one, right? So what? Zero. So it basically it's the conversion rate. So let's go ahead and then take a look into Indian rupees. For one US dollars, what am I going to get as a part of Indian rupees? So today I'm going to get 49 rupees and 42 paise, right? 42 paise. Okay, so that's basically this web service is all about. Now, how are we going to go and then do a data driven for this? So in order to do the data driven for this one, first of all, I got to go and then create test suite. So I could go and create a test suite from here. So I right click on that and say I want to generate a test suite for that. Okay, when I do that, it is going to come back and say, okay, test suite, do you want me to create it? Yes, we want to create it. One test case for each operation, right? And then the operation right now is just that. So do you want to generate a load test? No, we don't. So when I hit enter, it is telling me enter the name of the test suite to create. So the currency converter SOAP test suite is just fine. So I'm just going to go and hit enter. And basically what it is going to do is it had created this currency converter SOAP test suite. And what I get here is basically if I expand that, this is my test suite. This is my test case, and if I expand that, I would have my test steps. There's one test step by default, which it is going to give me, which is basically this request, right? Same request. So when I do that, basically this is my request, and I could go in here and I could enter again from US dollars to is Canadian CAN. Okay, so let's see. Whoa, we get false string here. So that means basically what is happening here is the false string which I got is because of the fact that I entered the wrong information in here. So I could be coming in here and entering the right information. So let's say the information is INR, that is the Indian rupee. So it is going to give me the right information. So when you enter a wrong information here, let's say there is no US dollar. So if I do UDS, let's say I just made a mistake, and then if I'm going to go again, you're going to see that there's going to be a SOAP fault because it is not going to return anything back to me. So that's a SOAP response error. So whenever a response error happens, you have what is called a SOAP fault. So we will be learning quite a bit in this course where we will be talking about how we're going to be doing some assertions. Now, assertions are when you go in here, you could be creating any sort of assertions. I could go in here and I say that, okay, I need to create an assertion for, let's say, the soap fault. All right, hit OK. Now, in this case, there was a soap error. So my assertion turned out to be valid because there is an error. There's a SOAP error. So that's why it is turning out to be valid. Now this assertion will fail if I go ahead and then fix my error. So my error would be USD and I run it right now. This assertion is going to fail because this assertion is saying that am I getting a SOAP fault? So no, you're not getting a SOAP fault. So that's why this assertion, since it is not true, so it failed. As you can see, there are a lot of things in here which we could be doing. Now, we were talking about the parameterization of that data. So for that, this tool which you're looking at right now, this is the open source tool. And the open source tool, for you to do the parameterization of data, you got to go in and then right click on that and then start adding steps. And the steps would be you would have to write a Groovy script for that. Now, rather than trying to pull your hair and write a Groovy script for it, you got to go and then take a look into the pro version. In the pro version, basically what you got is the ability to create a data-driven test for a SOAP web service is going to be like a breeze because it's just a matter of like clicking, and creating a data source. And once you create a data source, point it to either an Excel sheet where you have your data residing or to a database table. And you're going to be bringing the data into the test. And once you get the data into the test, in order for you to execute that, you just have to add one more step, which happens to be a data source loop. And once you add the data source loop, then you are all set. You're all ready to rock and roll in terms of doing a data-driven test for a web service API. Well, if you really are interested in seeing as how we do all of those things, then we request you to go and take a look into our website, which is trainingrite.com. And we got tons of courses here. We just started a course in January for a online SoapUI course, and it happened to be like a super hit. We got tons of response, a lot of people from all over United States and Canada, and we got students from far off countries like Australia and New Zealand attending this course because the course is extremely cost effective because we just providing this course for $349 and equally in terms of the content, the course which is being provided by the competition for the same content is almost 4 to 5 times more than what we are providing here. So that's the reason we had a mad rush for this course, and we appreciate that. So if you would like to go and take a training in SoapUI, which is a web service training, do take a look at our site, trainingrite.com. And if you have any questions, do give us a call. We are in New York, New Jersey area. Our phone number is 732-998-6650. You could find our phone number right here up on the top, as you can see here. So do give us a call or write an email to us inquiring about the future courses. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and we hope to see you back in another video presentation from trainingride.com, or better yet, if you could be a student of our, one of our courses. All right. Thank you.